So, in the context of time magic, working with time, the past, present, and the future, meditation is extremely important. And we'll get into why. So, meditation allows, there's tons of health benefits for it, of course, with being able to lower your heart rate and, expand your brain power, different things like that. But in a magical context, its utilization for visualization, journeying, and being able to even focus your own energies when you are in ritual are just paramount. So, when it comes to meditation, if you're not already a meditator, you're going to want to start with at least once a day, if possible, meditating for at least like 5 to 10 minutes. Work your way up to that. And I'm not just saying sit there, you know, sit there full lotus with your fingers, whatnot, not thinking at all. If do a bunch of research on meditation, Google some, watch some videos and things on top of what I'm going to tell you. But meditation isn't really clearing your mind. In this context, or at least in the one that we can use it for with magic, it's more about observing your thoughts and where they go. So, we focus on our breathing, where we have our eyes closed and we're either sitting in a chair, maybe even laying on the floor or on a bed, or we're sitting half lotus, full lotus, what have you, and we've got our eyes closed and we're saying in, out, in, out as we breathe, or 1 2 1 2 1 2. And when you do this, you're going to notice that you'll be saying 1 2 1 2, or in out for you know a little bit, and the next thing you know, you're going to be thinking about something that's happening tomorrow, or you're going to be thinking about the fact that you got your toe itches or something. And then once you realize you're thinking about that other thing, you gotta remind yourself, "Oh, no, I'm supposed to be counting my breathing." Then you go back to in, out, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this teaches metacognition, which I believe I have another lesson on later on that I'm gonna get to. But I am gonna talk about metacognition right here. So, when we are trying to count our breaths and then our brain strays off somewhere and then we notice it and we're like, hey, well, I'm not thinking about what I want to think about. I'm going to bring it back to what I want to think about. That's metacognition. It's thinking about your thinking, it's thinking above your thinking, it's being observant of your thoughts. And when we're able to slow our minds and our bodies down with meditation like this, then we can use that state for visualization and journeying, and we use the metacognition that we practice and we build that muscle for through meditation every day, hopefully, in order to observe what's going on rather than controlling it. I mean, if you've ever daydreamed, right? And when you realize that you're in a daydream, whether it's on the bus or in school or what have you, the second you start to notice it and your brain catches up with you and you're realizing that you're not sitting in your desk anymore, you're off in la la land. A lot of the time that's when you get pulled back into you know reality. So when we train our minds to be more observant rather than, oh, hey, I'm somewhere else observant, then we can go along for the ride. It's watching a movie versus being a director, right? Where we can be kind of separate from it or above it. And in this way, meditation is what allows us to both journey and journey into the past and stuff and visualize for the future. So start with meditating at least 10 minutes a day, maybe, 5 minutes if you can make it there and build it up to 10 minutes a day. Do You can do it with silence or with music. Even to this day, I do need some music in the background just because of, I don't know, that's just the way my brain works with stuff. So I have some, new age music. You don't want anything too intense. You don't want anything with the words. Find some, you know, new agey music or chill step stuff or just backgroundy kind of music, maybe from a favorite movie of yours. Nothing too intense. We're talking about things that are calm. I'm not talking about like the Imperial March from Star Wars. you know? We want to have music that's not going to be stimulating, but it's going to help your brain and your awareness and all that from getting lost in maybe the sound of, you know, an appliance in your house. Like I can hear the refrigerator over here. Or just even the silence of stuff can be very distracting. That's why I do find music to be very beneficial. So while you're sitting there and you're meditating and you're counting your breaths, 1, 2, 1, 2, get a distracted thought, bring it back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, get a distracted thought, bring it back. You can try that. And if maybe that doesn't work for you, you can actually focus on an object or a picture of an object. In a way, meditation is more of like an intended focus. The word meditation doesn't really capture what the idea of meditation is, for lack of a better term, or lack of a better explanation. We can actually focus on an object too. So you can picture an object, maybe, keep it in context, right? So maybe it's an object on your ritual altar. Like maybe I would picture my Kadvanga, or I'd picture my Agamasaratu, or I'd picture like my Purba, or maybe my Athame, something like that. And I would go over it every detail in my mind, trying to turn the item and study every little bit of it in my mind. Why is this better than the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? Not necessarily better, but what makes it beneficial? I'm focusing on one thing, and I'm not just going from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. I'm focusing on, I have an object to focus on, which is like a ritual tool. When you're counting your breathing, you're focusing on that breathing, right? That's your object of focus. But sometimes we need a tangible object to focus on. So that's why you can pick something on your altar, or you could pick the simplest thing. You could pick a fork, okay? But I like to use my ritual objects when I do this kind of thing because it gives more significance, and it seems something less mundane to focus on, or yeah, not mundane to focus on when I focus on like one of my ritual objects. So practice with the breathing first, and once you get that down where you can go for a good while without getting distracted, then move on to object meditation. And you are going to get distracted. Even to this day when I meditate, I still find my mind wandering off, but I'm able to catch it. And the more that we build this skill, it's going to help us with being able to journey to go into the past. It's going to help you with being able to make proper decisions and act appropriately and work the way that you want to work with the world in the present. And it's also going to help you with visualization and ritual magic and spell work for planning out your future. So it really does have context in all three areas of time that we're working with in the whole context of this class.